Welcome. I wanted to have a really quick live stream about holiday money wake up call, invest in assets, not liabilities. Hello, my name is Howard Martell, your home profit coach. Tonight, I want to talk about something that hits a lot of families every year: holiday spending and the credit card bondage. Every January, millions of people open their credit card bills and realize they just financed Christmas at 20% interest or more. The Bible warns about this in Proverbs 22:7. The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is a servant to the lender. When we swipe that card without a plan, we're stepping into servanthood to the lenders. As believers, we're called stewards, not slaves to debt. 1 Corinthians 4:2 says, moreover, it is required in stewards that one be found faithful. So tonight, in just a few minutes, I'm going to show you a simple way to understand assets versus liabilities, how holiday spending can trap us in interest, and practical examples of assets that can bless your family for years, not just weeks. Assets versus liabilities. Let's define this very simply. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket and builds long term transformational wealth that you can pass on from generation to generation to generation to generation. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket, often again and again and again. That's typically a bill, a credit card bill, an electric bill, a water bill, your mortgage. During the holidays, most people load up on liabilities: brand name shoes, the newest phones, extra gadgets, and decor. And I saw that today when I was walking at the local mall. And it's pretty sad that we are living in a very recessionary period right now. And these people are still spending money on liabilities, but they have a choice, they have free will. So they can do that if they want to. But this is what it says. The Bible gives a picture in Proverbs 21:20. There is desirable treasure in the oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man squanders it. The wise have treasure in oil stored. The foolish squander what they have. Jesus also talked about counting the cost in Luke 14:28. For which of you intend to build a tower does not sit down first and count the cost? Before we build this Christmas with our spending, especially with debt, we should sit down first and count the cost. So here's the key question to ask this season: is this something I'm buying, an asset that builds mine or my family's future or the next generation's future? Or a liability that drains me and maybe puts me deeper into debt? Examples of liabilities versus assets. Liabilities is what we usually buy. Let's be real about common holiday liabilities: expensive brand shoes for just for the label, upgrading to the newest smartphone every year in the payments. You don't need to do that. Costly gadgets and toys that lose value quickly. A lot of this is driven by appearance, what the Bible calls the lust of the eyes and the pride of life. 1 John 2:16 through 17. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world is passing away and the lust of it, but he who does the will of God abides forever. We can look rich and yet be broke and stressed. Proverbs 13:7. There is one who makes himself rich, yet has nothing, and one who makes himself poor, yet has great riches. Buying to impress others, especially on credit, is a fast path to that kind of emptiness. Assets, gifts that can outlive the holidays. Now let's look at some assets, things that can bless you long term. Financial assets, precious metals like gold or silver that holds value, investments accounts, savings for kids and grandchildren, extra payments on high interest debt. Proverbs 13:11. Wealth gained by dishonesty will be diminished, but he who gathers by labor will increase. Slow, honest, steady building increases over time. And Romans 13:8. Owe no one anything except to love one another. One of the best investments you can make is paying down that 20% credit card instead of adding more to it. Two, skill and income building assets, courses or training that improve your skills, tools that help you start or grow a home based business, just like Howard has for over 30 plus years. And do you see a man who excels in his work? This is Proverbs 22:29. He will stand before kings. A skill that increases your earning power for years is a powerful asset. Legacy assets, books on financial stewardship for your family. You can find these at Barnes and Nobles. You can find them on Amazon, of course. or you can probably find it at Target now, or you can go to Dave Ramsey's site or whoever site you want to that you feel that is fits your values, and tools that can help you hit kids create, not just consume. Proverbs 13:22. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. That inheritance is not just money, it's wisdom, habits, and a financial foundation. Quick swap this for one moment. Let me give you a quick way to think about it. Instead of a $250 in brand shoes, buy $150 shoes and put $100 towards savings or debt. Instead of a $1,000 TV on credit, buy a more modest TV in cash and use the rest to pay down your debt or start an investment. Jesus said in Matthew 6:21, for where your treasure is, there your heart will also be. Even our holiday spending shows where our heart is. If you're watching live, type swap in the chat if you're willing to swap at least one liability for asset this Christmas. Here's a short challenge in closing. Three-step holiday money challenge. Here's a simple three-step challenge for this season. Make a list of your holiday spending, mark each item as an asset or a liability, swap 20 to 30% of your liabilities for assets or extra debt payments. Don't just do this in your own strength. Proverbs 16:3. Commit your works to the Lord, and your thoughts will be established. Commit your budget and your spending to the Lord. If you're feeling pressure of lack, remember Philippians 4:19. And my God shall supply all your needs according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. And if you feel unsure what to do next, James 1:5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, and it will be given to him. Ask God for wisdom for every financial decision this holiday season. Final word and call to action. As we wrap up, remember Proverbs 22:7. The borrower is servant to the lender. This Christmas, don't become a servant to debt. Choose to be a faithful steward. If encourage you, share with someone who worried about their holiday bills or worrying about it. Comment or message me. I choose assets if you're choosing to change at least one spending decision this year. And if you like more resources on faith-based financial stewardship and building assets, reach out to me directly and I'll get you tools, some tools to help. God bless you. God bless your family. And may this be the season of peace, not pressure in your finance. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next live. And if you like, I can turn this into a beautiful way of thinking. So remember, assets versus liabilities. The first time I was there was when the guy who had the best record in baseball and best player on the base was a rookie who was in a lot. Well, that's interesting. So I hope this really invigorates you to understand what is going on. I'm just going to give you a little history. Because we are a creditor nation, the United States, for example, we are the reserve currency. Because the reserve currency has been, we have abused it collectively as the United States has. We are paying the price as consumers right now, and until we can get the debt down to a manageable level and revigorate these jobs, you need to understand that it's going to get real. So assets like silver and gold are going up in value. Silver is up 118%. Howard invested in that 5 years ago, right? So I use, and I'll put this in I'll put this in the text here. This is who I personally use, and you'll see on my streams that I have, I did something and explained about precious metals, right? So I use this gentleman here, KEPM.com. It's a relationship started, right? First, he has the same values that I have. His whole staff does. They pray over us. But what I love about it is it's a lifelong relationship. They love it when we're succeeding. And my investment as a steward of what God has provided me with time, talents, and abilities outside of being retired military and being service disabled, earned those benefits because of my service. I want to teach people to understand that you need to have more assets and liabilities and become your own bank. You can become your own bank. And that's a thing of beauty, right? And that's a picture of me. In the background is my diploma that I got this year from Southern Hampshire University. Today is actually our online commencement at 3 p.m. That'll be streaming. I'm not going to be there live, of course. They already had the live one. But see, I use the benefits that are available to me, but I also want to educate people about how money works. More assets, less liabilities. You want to have things that can't be created. Silver, once it's used up, it's gone, people. Gold, it retains its value, and so much more. With that being said, take care. God bless, and I'm looking forward to seeing each and every one of you be a financial steward of what God has blessed you with. Take care.